And as you see, cars out on track. I'm Will Buxton, delighted to say alongside me as ever, Townsend Bell, James Hinchcliffe. Boys, it is a beautiful day for racing.
Absolutely spectacular as you see the mountains in Coachella Valley in the background. But these long radius corners, James, have opened up the IndyCar field a little bit. 7/10 separating first to 10th, 2.2 seconds separating first to last yesterday in practice. Candidly, that's too big of a gap. A lot of this field needs to figure out how to tighten things up in this session, as the 8 car Kiffin Simpson appears to have a problem. Let's listen.
Something's very wrong with the shifting. It won't let me shift a lot of times. All right, copy. We'll look at it.
Shift problems on the number 8. Obviously, all these systems electronic. The driver's just hitting the paddle on the back of the steering wheel.
We talked about this yesterday, James. High number of reliability issues to start this weekend. We didn't see much at St. Pete, but all of a sudden it's been some gremlins everywhere you look across multiple teams.
As we see on the mission on board with Christian Lundgaard, he was late to the weigh-in after yesterday's session, so he's going to have to sit the final 10 minutes of this session out. It was a disappointing day for him yesterday, 24th fastest for Christian Lundgaard, but currently the fastest driver out on track.
Quite a big difference between the onboard that we saw from Scott McLaughlin and Christian Lundgaard in terms of how hard they are pushing things. Riding on board with McLaughlin, he seemed very reserved and exercising a lot of restraint behind the wheel, where Christian Lundgaard really pressing things here. You see all of those little micro corrections. It's kind of the difference, I think, between getting ready for qualifying maybe with the mentality and the setup, and in McLaughlin's case, thinking about race pace and tire conservation.
Tires are going to be a key factor this weekend. The hard tire that Firestone have brought here was designed to be more durable. The soft tire they've brought is actually only a step softer than the hard was this time last year. But guys, the feedback we've been getting from the drivers yesterday is that this durable, supposedly more durable hard, might not actually be that durable after all, and it could be the soft that's the preferential tire.
So if we finish the lap here with Christian Lundgaard, we'll get an answer, because his quickest lap so far of 42.3, and it's really starting to skate around in the final corner before the timing line. Have a look at the track here at Thermal. 17 turns in total. As I talked about earlier, some long duration, long corner radius turns here. You are sitting with lateral load and really working the tires. Turn 6 there, really important because it leads to this long back straightaway, heavy brake zone where you charge the entries. I talked to local legend and track expert Eric Mandia on Thursday, and he said it's all about full send, James. You got to have entry speed.
And you got to do it here through the S's. 10 to 14, a brilliant section of switchback corners before another short burst down into turn 15, turn 17, where we saw the cars getting airborne. And it's a busy lap, and I know this is your favorite corner right here. This is turn 9, the carousel.
Graham Rahal was not happy yesterday with the balance of his race car. They were 22nd quick. And one thing we've learned about Graham through the years is even if they struggle in practice or qualifying, this guy just knows how to pull himself up by his bootstraps and just force the bull on race day and figure out a way to get a result. But you got to remember that Graham Rahal has been so many races, 126 since his last win, and he would like nothing more than to put this beautiful Mobil 1 car in victory lane on Sunday.
Yeah, he's getting close to 300 career starts, is Graham Rahal. But like you say, man, he is such a Sunday performer. This guy knows how to just take an average handling race car, throw it on his back, and march his way up the field. It's obviously easier to make that progress if you're starting a little higher up, and that's the qualifying pace is really what this group needs to focus on.
But his teammate, Louis Foster, the rookie, was the one showing the way, and he's second right now.
Look here. This is coming up over that bump in 17. Oh, you see the flecks of paint coming off as the cars bottom out. Completely getting the tub off the ground there. And that's a smoothed out corner, T-Bell. Last year that bump was even bigger, and then here's what happened in the S's. We were just talking about it.
That section,
you get it
dicey.
wrong on the first.
Let's watch it from tails away here. Oh boy,
oh, snap.
That could have been huge.
He could have ended up in either one of those walls on the right or the left. Great save from Rasmussen. That'd be a heart in the throat moment for sure.
Colton Herter in the Gamebridge Honda has been having a bit of fun out there, guys.
Sticker black tires there on the onboard, but earlier used blacks with a big old slide.
That's a huge slide.
Beautiful, though.
And then straight up into the jump. Woo!
If anybody else, we'd say throat in stomach moment. Not for Colton Herta.
Not for Colton
Herta.
Herta.
He's been there so many times in his career. That's where he's happiest.
And ringing the changes in pit lane.
Yeah, you see some spring changes happening on the 26. That's the damper, the shock absorber. Mechanics are holding there, taking the spring off. Based on that oversteer, maybe he's going a little softer.
No.
I mean, no, sorry, stiffer. Yeah.
Probably stiffer. Probably wants a little more support in the front, but you never know. As Scott Dixon, 25th year as an IndyCar driver, still learning.
Kev, down in pit lane.
And you can get a read on Pato O'Ward as well, who just left a few seconds ago. He's got fresh, harder compound, the black sidewalled Firestones. Had an interesting conversation with Pato, who was very much in the championship mix last year, finished 5th, won 3 wins. No one won more than him, but he said, I'm really still trying to come to grips with the extra weight and the balance shift that the hybrid brought to us midsummer last year. I'm not quite there yet, but thinks they learned some things at the Barber test and still trying to get sorted and just get comfortable again. Jack.
Yeah, actually staying at McLaren, I chatted with Christian Lundgaard. After the Barber test, he told me that they actually have brought a car that is more suited to just specifically what he needs this weekend. He said he had some issues on his red run. He didn't dive into exactly what they were, but he's on the harder tyre now. He actually was on the harder tyre when he did his fastest lap, and his radio message was, I'm having a lot more fun today. So something's working well. He's looking good on track. I think he could be a contender for pole.
Yeah, you saw a few drivers taking pretty slow out laps there. It tells me that there's some new tires going on cars as we get eyes now on Rinus VeeKay out there again. That impressive top 10 drive. You know, it was a tough break for him when he got the call from Ed Carpenter Racing that they were not going to be picking up his contract. But he said he didn't have a long time to worry about it because it was only about a week before Dale Coyne called him and said, hey, we've got a test at the Speedway. We need a driver. Will you come drive? He did. Test went well. Dale was very impressed, and conversations really started there. Even though it wasn't confirmed till well into the new year, the conversation started quite early in the offseason. So Rinus always had confidence it was going to land his way, and repaying Dale's faith with that great drive in St. Pete.
As we take a look out the back of the XPEL Chevy with Scott McLaughlin.
Pulling into pit lane.
Apparently there was some issues as that's a cooling fan,
That's a
I
cooling
believe.
fan
Yeah.
attached to the wheel.
That's impressive. It's still on.
I am shocked that that thing is hanging on there.
That I think might have ended up in someone's garden.
You would have thought you'd feel a small vibration in the cockpit.
Just a bit. Just a bit.
The 83 of Robert Schwartzman being pushed onto pit lane. Kev, I know you're down there. They need these laps so desperately.
They haven't turned one yet for the weekend. They had some limited time because of issues at St. Pete as well, and it's all new to this team, and it's definitely team no sleep. You mentioned they were here until 4:30, back at 6:30, so just went back to the hotel, took a shower, maybe a 15-minute nap. But Pierce Phillips, the CEO, is telling me you wouldn't believe the enthusiasm, the morale. It's still high. They're going to see what they can get out of this. But really, at this point, it's going to have to be a systems check just to begin things, to make sure everything is sorted correctly.
Honestly, if Robert Schwartzman didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all.
Still a good chunk off of Christian Lundgaard, about half a second. An incredible run. Look at the air under that car. Oh, my goodness.
Only P2, 410.
David Malukas said, what I'm really most working on right now is me. Remember, he didn't drive here last year. That's when he was still recovering from his hand injury. Did do the test in 23. Cars are not bad. They already know what they want to do, but they need to go back to the pad, back in the paddock to be able to make that change. So they'll make that for qualifying. He just tried a sticker run here. Didn't go any better. But Malukas feels like they're in a decent window. His teammate Santino Ferrucci is really happy with where their AJ Foyt Chevy is
This
at.
guy, Newgarden, still 25th. I would think and hope he's on some sticker black tires, hard tires here, and going to show us what this car's capable of.
Well, weird to leave it to the 1 minute to go sort of time to do it, but he does jump up. Where does he end up?
16th.
So not the... Oh, and he's wide there. This is the last lap that he'll get, and it's already compromised by the start of that lap.
He's bailing out, too.
Yeah, bit of a struggle session for him. He wasn't super happy yesterday either on the podium. Last time out in St. Pete was only 18th quickest in FP1. So this team in general is still struggling. We've seen Power now work his way up to 6. You got McLaughlin inside the top 10. Joseph's sort of the outlier right now for Penske.
Checkered flag is out. These will be the last timed laps of the practice session before qualifying, and I'm afraid to report Robert Schwartzman did not get out of pit lane. He will go into qualifying having not run a single lap this weekend.
And when you think back to St. Pete with all of the delays and the radio issues, it's just the worst possible start for a rookie driver, brand new to racing in the U.S. All you want is laps, experience. You know you have to catch up. You know, for a guy like Jacob Abel, 26 in the session, but he's running all the laps. And that's what you want as a rookie. That's what you have to have.
If Robert Schwartzman can qualify anywhere other than 27th, I will be shocked.
But we take a look at the final times in practice 2. That half a second gap, Christian Lundgaard over Alex Palou, truly impressive. His teammate, Pato O'Ward, down there in 5th.